Investment into German real estate is typically channeled into less than 10 top cities, including Berlin and Frankfurt. We will speak to the Chief Financial Officer of the Consus Group about the factors which drive investment into these hotspots. Your German real estate investments are focused on less than 10 top German cities. Could you tell us a little bit more about these hotspots and what drives the investments into them?
Our focus is on the top 9 German cities because we believe those cities have the best dynamics in terms of the underlying structural supply and demand, and we think also they'll be the most resilient in any cycle as well. Berlin, Germany's capital, historically underinvested in, and the huge potential for redevelopment there. Obviously, as we all know, prior to reunification, it was in two sides, and then it took a long time as a city to come together as the capital and to start getting an economic dynamic moving forward. Now, that's clearly happening very strongly. There's a huge demand, the economy is growing, population is growing, and then Brexit, I believe strongly, will push that further because it's clearly the undisputed political capital of Europe now. Then you look at Frankfurt, huge beneficiary of Brexit. Pretty much every financial firm that has a base in London and trades in Europe needs to now have a European base. Frankfurt is the natural choice. It's not the only choice, but it's the natural choice. And then the movement of demand to Frankfurt is causing a huge support to that market.
And we saw a huge building boom in Frankfurt and other German cities and commercial property at the turn of the millennium, but those properties stood empty for a long time. Is there danger of that happening this time round?
The answer is no, but let me tell you why. At that point in time, this huge boom was caused, as you said, a massive oversupply, but it was a function of two things. It was a function of the fact that obviously being reunification 10 years earlier, which was a one-off event, will not happen again, and now there are some tax breaks that allied with that as well. So you end up having a huge oversupply across Germany, at the same time that Germany's economy then actually stagnated for a while. So you came out sort of around 2010 where you had a lack of supply again, because all the developers that were there moved out of the business due to not being successful, and at that point the supply-demand shift suddenly occurred. So now we have a scenario where there's strong demand and limited supply, which is a good opportunity for Consus, because unlike, say, the UK, where you've got 7 or 8 listed developers with a market cap of well over 25 billion, Germany you've got 2, which Consus is the largest with a market cap of less than 2 billion. Germany is the larger economy. Now, Germany and UK are not exactly the same, but that clearly shows you there's an opportunity for significant developers to grow in Germany. These cities have their own strong local economies driving them forward. That, combined with the general move towards cities in the new economy, means that we're very confident across Germany that we've got a great set of assets.
And are prices still relatively low here compared to other European cities?
Absolutely. Now, in Germany, of course, there have been significant rises, and that always creates commentary, and it happens in every country. But if you actually look at the two things, one, the fundamental price as a percentage of income, Germany is still at the bottom end of Europe, which is surprising for an economy that's at the top end. And secondly, if you look at the underlying supply and demand, irrespective of people's views on prices, if there's a shortage of properties and an excess of demand over supply, prices will continue to rise.